Welcome everyone to Hearts with Nate Frazier in the absence of my co-host, Brother Keon Purewright. We're excited today for this interview we have here today with, I call him the mayor of Ypsilanti. Everybody know Brother Brian Robert Foley and all the other ones here today. So glad to have you all here today. But we want to open up this interview here. We're right here live at the Park Ridge Community Center right here on the south side of Ypsilanti. We want to talk about today, do you know the word on the street for January 2020? How to get my sticker. If you are handicapped, you can park at meters for free. All you need is a yellow sticker on your hang tag. So let's talk about who came up with the idea. Let's talk about the benefit of the sticker and also who qualifies for this sticker.
Thanks, Brother Nate, for having us on your show again. And that title, Mayor, you bestowed upon me. As I said before, my mentor said you don't get to choose the hat that you wear, just wear up to the hat that's on your side. So
That's right.
I respect that you think that of me to bestow that title. Anyway, the sticker that you're talking about was introduced to this group. I was introduced to group by this group of people right here, and in particular by Miss Gail Summerhill. And when she first started talking about this sticker, this handicap sticker, right, I had not a clue what it was about. And if any of you know Gail, she'll keep giving you some information until you get a full understanding of what's going on.
Yes.
So who's best qualified to share what this sticker, this handicap sticker about? Well, let me say that. I shouldn't say handicap. What's the proper word? Disabled, or what should I use?
It is a handicap.
It's handicap?
It's a
Okay.
handicap.
Because I don't want to be offensive to anybody, you know what I'm saying? So it is handicap.
Or disabled.
Yeah. Okay, disabled or challenged, you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to be respectful to anybody who has those type of issues. Anyway, I'm gonna let Gail share exactly what that is. Okay.
Well, thank you, Brian, and the group, and Nate, for this opportunity. I discovered that there was a yellow tag by someone getting a ticket in Ann Arbor.
Okay.
From an expired meter. And I was told that they had a handicap plate, but you needed to have a yellow hanging sticker with certain qualifications not to receive a ticket from an expired meter. Well, in Ann Arbor, so I did some research, and in Ann Arbor, for an expired meter, it costs $15 in the first 24 hours if you pay it. After the 24 hours, it's $25 up to 2 weeks.
Wow.
Then after 2 weeks, then it goes to $60. And then after 30 days, it's $70. So
For a parking ticket.
expired meter parking ticket.
Wow. And that's in Ann Arbor.
That was in Ann Arbor.
Okay.
That was the experience that I saw in Ann Arbor.
Okay.
But after doing some investigation, it's expired meter tickets, depending on what county or jurisdiction you're in, they're different prices. So if you were in Detroit, I did not do the research to go beyond, but it can be very expensive.
Okay.
So the thought for me was, that's a lot of money for a person who is disabled and on a fixed income, and you only get paid once a month.
Exactly.
That wasn't okay. That's not okay with me for the information to be what I feel is hidden, because most people didn't know. As I was questioning, do you know about a yellow sticker? So that's how the yellow sticker came about.
Okay, that's how. Okay, so that experience brought along that yellow sticker, and that's how you discovered that yellow sticker. Now, who does this yellow sticker qualify for, where can you get it from your doctor? Do you need to go to the Secretary of State? Is it a prescription or, something that you need?
Well, Nate, we pulled it down from the website, and I'm as far as the qualifications to read it.
Okay.
And I don't want to give you wrong information, not knowing everything that it says to misquote or misinform anyone, because I don't have it right here in front of me. What I did find out is it's part 3, and most people they thought it was just their doctor. Most people don't know about a part 3, and it's specifically for people not to pay meters if you meet certain qualifications in your disability. We also discovered that it wasn't just your physician that could sign off. And in talking to people, I talked to one of my friends, and she said that if she needed a form filled out from her doctor, it was going to cost $25.
Okay.
But looking at the people that were authorized, and you all can help me if I miss someone, it was a chiropractor, a physician's assistant, a physical therapist, a optometrist. So those are a lot of people that we would not have known except for looking and the fine line underneath who's authorized. And I think that that's important information, because many times everybody doesn't go to a physician. You might just see a chiropractor to have that kind of authority. You may have a physical disability that's temporary, and you qualify for a temporary handicap sticker that your physical therapist knows how far you can reach. You could have had a hip replacement, a knee replacement, where it causes you a temporary disability.
Now let me ask you this question. Is this something new, or is it something that a lot of people just don't know about? Because as I was leaving, I was telling my aunt, because she has a handicap sticker, and I said, do you know about, the yellow sticker? No, I've never heard about no yellow sticker, what that's about. I said, tune in, you'll find out. So
I can only speak to the revision date that we pulled down. And the revision date was somewhere in 2019. If it did exist prior to that, I can't speak to that to know how long.
Okay.
But I'm sure we could check with the Secretary of State to know how long has this existed. But
And I'd like to just say that
Sure.
I remember Gail telling me one part is that the part that the yellow sticker pertains to is on the second page. And I remember you telling me that often that people would just get the first page
Right.
given to them, they would fill it out, not even knowing they have this opportunity to get this yellow sticker.
And it's the application to get a handicap parking hang tag. And then you have to just do the second page to get the sticker.
Okay, so
So
a
it's
lot
not
of
the
people.
same application.
It's the same application, but people are only getting the first page.
Gotcha. So a lot of people don't know.
Right.
So you're here today to bring awareness to a lot of people that don't know that is available to them, because there's a lot of people like Gail was saying that are getting charged and on fixed income, and they're at these parking meters, and those tickets add up, and very expensive, and a lot of people can't afford it. So I heard you say something about the criteria of that sticker. It depends on their criteria. Can you explain a little more as far as that? I mean, when it comes down to being disabled, the criteria, like some people may have a back problem, some people may have knee problems or something, they can't walk far. So I'm just trying to figure out, do you have to have a severe handicapped to get the sticker?
Well, this is what I'd like to do, so that we're giving, accurate information since we're being taped, and that's very important. So I would like you to, ask another question, and I will reach and get the forms so that we have the facts, instead of giving people misinformation.
Yes, gotcha.
That would not be fair to the
Right.
audience.
Okay.
If we misquote.
Yeah. And while they're doing it, Nate, let me just share with you, what this group, they kind of invited me into their space
Okay.
as being a, resident of South Side of Ypsilanti.
Okay.
And sharing this information, and I became intrigued and piqued on this information because when you look at it, well, let me make it relevant. A friend of mine's brother is in the hospital at the University of Michigan, right? And she has a handicap sticker, okay? And even though she has a handicap sticker, it wasn't for that vehicle. So she received a ticket last night, and this ticket parking at the University of Michigan Hospital was $100. Okay, so you already have people who are already economically disadvantaged. Okay, and taking people going, if you have an aunt or uncle, or grandfather, or something like that, a cousin, or even yourself, that has to continually go back and forth to a hospital, those spaces oftentimes are metered spaces.
Right.
So you're already in a hardship situation. So you can get a parking ticket, and I'm just throwing these numbers out here. Right?
Uh-huh.
You may get a parking ticket for, that may cost $25.
Right.
If you don't pay it by the end of the day, then that parking sticker, that parking ticket can cost you maybe $50. I'm just throwing these numbers up.
Right.
If you don't pay that ticket within 30 days, then it doubles.
Right.
90 days, 1 year. So you started out, you're already in a bad situation already. So for me, I'm looking at it as a form of economic oppression.
Right.
To take advantage of an already disadvantaged people.
Exactly.
So you already have to pay an exorbitant amount of money just to park to go see, whether go to the University of Michigan, St. Joseph Hospital, or just your doctor.
Right.
Okay? You're already bad off. You get what I mean?
Right.
So now you gotta park, and that's a challenge in itself. And you gotta put some money into a sticker, which one of the questions that you're asking. You got people who have vision impaired, you have people who have reading impairments, and in particular you have with the new parking style systems, where you may have to park here, but you gotta go on the other side of the parking lot to go pay, then get back to where you're going and where you are going. So you're already exasperating the situation that's you're already in a situation already.
Okay.
So in my opinion, this is just Brian's opinion.
Okay.
What I'm looking at is a system taking advantage of an already person that's already into a bad situation, and you're making that situation even worse. Financially. So when this group of very nice ladies came to me, you get what I mean, and said, we need to get this information out.
Yeah.
Right? And I began to look at it more and more, and I was like, wow.
Right.
And I'm looking out right here into the New Park Ridge Homes, right? I look to the left over here, you got Hamilton Crossing. Behind me, we have Salt Trail. And then we got the South Side community where I live. There's a lot of people who have challenges getting around. And now you're talking about, I got to park for an hour. Just hypothetically, it costs you $2.50 to park for an hour.
Right.
If you do not meet that deadline, now all of a sudden you got a ticket on your car that says you got to pay $50 by the end of the night.
Right.
If you don't pay this $50, once again, I'm going to be redundant, by the end of the night, then we're going to find you some more.
Right.
If you don't pay it by this deadline, we're going to find you some more. In this handicap sticker, right?
Okay.
This prevents and alleviates all those measures already.
Okay.
So we're bringing this awareness to that, and I think Gail and Jan now have found that.
Okay.
What it says.
All right, real quick, the parking meters, now on the side streets, you have handicap, right? And then you have parking meters. So people that already have the handicap sticker can automatically park on side streets where the handicap sticker is if it's available. So what y'all saying is that if you have that yellow sticker, you can park at any meter and don't have to pay.
Right, including the handicap ones.
Including the handicap one. Okay, I just
Right.
wanted to make that clear, people understand that.
Yes.
So that's awesome.
Yes.
But Gail's gonna go and give us oh, I'm sorry.
Jan.
Jan.
Jan, you're gonna give us some more details.
Okay,
about-
yeah, so usually it is if you lack both fine motor skills in both hands and you have trouble putting coins into a machine or accessing the parking meters because they have changed. If you cannot reach above your head to a height of 42 inches from the ground because you have some extremity problems. If you are in a wheelchair, which is really very important, or some other ambulatory device, maybe a walker or something that it prohibits you or makes it more difficult to be able to get to the meter. And if you cannot walk more than 20 feet because of orthopedic or cardiovascular or a lung condition. So those are some of the requirements to be able
Okay.
to qualify for this extra yellow tag on your disability parking tag.
Okay. Excellent. So this is bringing awareness to our community, especially in Ypsilanti, here to let everybody know that you have a disability, that this sticker is available to you. So it sounds like it really qualifies for people that have the handicap sticker.
Yes.
That's-
Or,
The yellow ticket has special qualifications, so you wanna make sure
That
that you meet these qualifiers to be able to park, to be able to, have access to the yellow
Okay.
sticker
Okay.
that's on there.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it's more like an extra benefit.
Yes.
yes,
to the-
and
to the-
actually, if you think about it, if you are disabled, you shouldn't even have to have these extra
Right.
qualifying
Okay,
things.
thanks.
That's part of the problem.
Got you.
Is that, yes, we found out that you have these, but why? If you have a handicap, if you're disabled or have some sort of disability that's troubling, and you qualify for a parking tag,
Tag.
why do you actually have to need a yellow tag? So we're providing that information, but really the bigger question is, why do we even need a yellow tag?
Excellent. Okay.
Because what I'm visualizing when it was brought to me, we have a grandmother situation, right? And the grandchild has to get the grandmother to her appointment or whatever it is. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so now you gotta park somewhere close as what you can get to, and 80, 70, 90-year-old grandmother, right? And now you gotta pay all this amount of money, and like I said again, to overtax somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as Jan was saying, why do you even have to do that anyway? I'm not trying to get into what parking meters,
Right.
what they're intended to do.
Right.
We understand that, but however, why take advantage of a bad situation? It's like throwing salt in your wound. And I was giving an example of what actually happened last night. A friend of mine went to the University of Michigan. Her brother is literally on life support, right? And on the back of her, she does have the handicap sticker, right? But this sticker right here was for another vehicle, but it didn't make any difference. She still got ticketed, $100 fine, and she has to go down to city
Try to
council
fight it.
to try to fight this.
Right.
And right now, her brother is on life support.
Yeah. Just
And this is real life.
yeah, extra headache.
Another thing I'd like to say is, as I was telling people about this yellow tag, I got a lot of resistance from people making judgments
Really?
that people were using handicap stickers that did not deserve them. And I had a problem with that, because there are many people that have disabilities that you don't have to see it.
Correct.
And if we spent more time not judging a person by what we see and not knowing, I think we would be a lot better off. Because for the people who meet all of these qualifications and don't know about it, what are we helping somebody? other than talking about them for what we believe that we don't know anything about.
Right. And people, but see, people, you gotta think about it too, Bill, that people are looking at your physical disabilities. So if they're saying, okay, you have a mental disability and you're applying for this sticker.
No, what I'm saying is.
No, I'm just saying
No,
that's
what
not
I'm
me.
saying is.
Okay.
You don't know, nobody knows what's going on
Right,
with
right.
my legs today.
Right.
You don't know that. Maybe I can stand up today and walk.
Mhm.
You don't know the amount of pain somebody's in
Right.
when they stand up.
Correct.
So I'm saying, stay in your lane.
Right.
Stay in your lane. Do not judge me because you don't have to physically look at me to determine when you're not my doctor.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I definitely understand what you're saying.
Right.
Trust me, I understand what you're saying.
And so the greater point is, like Jan said, this was available, and why didn't people know about it?
Right.
That needed it.
Yes.
People who are in wheelchairs, people who are challenged, why wasn't it known to all people that needed it?
Right.
That's the issue here.
Right, right, right.
And that's why we invited you in, so that we can get this information
Yes.
out to
Yes.
people, right?
Right.
Because it was deeply hidden on page.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, a lot of people do not know about this.
Right.
You know, and a lot that's watching this broadcast will find out, and as this broadcast will go on for a couple of weeks, people can just go on the page and look at it. It'll be on here for a couple of weeks. So a lot of people do not know about this, but do know about it. Like I said, when I left, I was telling my auntie I was going down to Parkway, a yellow sticker. You know, seriously, like, what's that? And she has a handicap sticker that she has had for 10 years. She's never heard about
Right.
a yellow sticker.
Right.
You know, so it's like that benefit is being hidden and nobody's being, you know, aware of what's going on. And so when you look at the things that are going on as far as these parking meters, especially in Arbor, we already know it's about the dollars.
That's right.
You know, so here in Ypsilanti too, I've seen a lot of people, I even got tickets, you know, for, you know, being at a parking meter, maybe just expired, but they're right there on it. So it's about the money too, you know, it's definitely about the money. And then I believe that this is hidden too because it cuts down on them getting that quarter.
But this is for the whole state of Michigan, and it's also available in other states. So each person needs to check their motor vehicles to find out if the same policy exists in other states.
What would you tell people that goes to the Secretary of State that fills out the disability parking? Instead of just filling out the first page, they need to know what?
No, it's not at the Secretary of State.
It's not at the Secretary of
No,
State.
the Secretary of State is the place that issues the yellow tag.
Okay.
Okay, so.
You have to go online to fill this out for
No,
the yellow tag?
normally people get it from their doctor, so
Oh,
they
okay.
thought.
See, that's what I wanted to find out.
However,
To ask
each
people.
person, a person can go online
Uh-huh,
and download this form.
okay.
And then they would read that, say it's a chiropractor that they're going to. You're not going to your doctor, your chiropractor knows. You would take this form into them, ask, do I qualify for them to fill it out under the physician's signature? So,
Let me make the bell ringer right here.
Okay.
So say for instance, you got a medicinal marijuana card, right? Now, I'm not a supporter of marijuana use, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's a whole different thing.
Right.
But say for instance, you got a medicinal marijuana card.
Mm-hmm.
You take that over there and get your sticker.
There are many ways to get your sticker.
All right. Okay.
Get your
Okay,
sticker.
Okay, how you gonna bring it?
That Gail uncovered, as well as that, a lot of doctors' offices don't know either.
Okay.
So they're the ones giving you the form, they say, oh, you're eligible for a handicap sticker, let me give you this form, and as Gail, Jan was saying, they either give you the first page, but that the staff doesn't know, so.
Why, but my question to whoever wanna answer this question, if this is in law, why is it hidden? Why don't even doctors know about this? Whoever want to answer.
I can start with
Okay.
that. I think there's a little bit of an implicit bias going on, meaning that we do things or we expect things, people to know certain things. I mean, Gail has taught me a lot about that. When I would say I'd like to share this information, she goes, well, what about people who don't have a phone? So there's a lot going on as people are making these decisions, not really understanding how people are receiving information.
Okay.
They are providing it, but they don't understand how people receive it. And I think that's a big part of it. Does that kind of make sense? And so there's a lot of that going on. I think there's a lot of different combinations, but I think that's one of it. But the people who are providing it saying, oh, I made it available as a link. Oh, I put it on this website.
And
But
everybody
are
don't
they,
know.
right, are they actually taking those next steps about making sure that the communities that are most affected by this, do they know about it?
Gotcha, right.
Reaching out to ambassadors and sharing that information, finding out how people receive information. What about people who don't receive electronically information? How do you do that? How do you share that information with optometrists? Maybe your physical therapist doesn't even know that they can do this.
Wow.
And you got, like she said, you have our seniors
Mhm.
who not only don't have a computer in their home, a tablet,
Right.
but are challenged also in using their smartphone.
Exactly.
So the
Exactly.
information is out there, right?
Mhm.
So that when it comes down to it, those, as we say, they can't say, well, the information is out there. We
Right.
provided it.
Mhm.
It's all out there.
They put it
Here.
in the forms.
Put it in the forms, it's there. So you say, all you have to do is what Jan said, but you go pull it up, but then you gotta go click on this link, which is down here on the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
right?
And
So-
a lot of people are illiterate when it comes to computer.
Got it.
Everybody don't know that computer. My question to you, Gail, how will you continue to bring awareness to this yellow sticker?
The yellow sticker is just the first
Okay.
of many series of information for people to be aware of in the form of suppression, we believe. And I'm glad you asked. I was just wondering if we were going to be going into the next segue of
Yeah.
our next video that we did to give people information that we feel is purposely suppressed from people who need it.
If I could, Nate,
Yeah.
if we could bring Jan into the conversation.
Sure, sure.
She did an excellent job of creating this video that we have. Ms. Tricia Duckworth was supposed to be in the morning. She did it here today. She had something else, and she did a voiceover on it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna allow Margaret. I said Margaret. You laugh about that. 'Cause I didn't know these things.
Right.
To share with us on that next.
Okay. Well, to back up a little, we created a name for this grassroots group, and it's called Ypsi Can I Share? That phrase came from Brian. As well, what are we doing here? Like, what do we want to say to people? And we want to say Ypsi, can I share? And so it's focused on Ypsilanti,
Okay.
things that happen in the Ypsilanti area. And pretty much the ideas come from Gail. She's been brainstorming this for a couple of years. And the parking tag was the first thing, and now we're doing something called empowerment cards.
Okay.
And those are to help you understand that your elected officials work for you and how to reach them. And so as far as the videos go, I mean, we're as grassroots as you can get. We're just a couple of people figured out how to use PowerPoint, put some free beats on it, and wonderful voice talent. Tricia has volunteered her time to do the voiceovers, and so we just put it together. It's real folksy, it's real easy to understand and digest, and so we'll just keep doing them as Gail gives us new topics.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely like the video. You know, got my attention just with Luther Vandross.
Yeah.
Don't you know that?
Right, don't you know
I'm
that?
like, okay, I'm gonna watch this for a minute, 32 seconds. So, I mean, just that little bit was very informational. You know,
Right.
it really was. So that's what's important. And what y'all doing is a great thing, Sheriff. You know, Ypsilanti. I mean, it's a great thing. It's bringing awareness to the community, and like I said, this yellow sticker is awesome because a lot of people now do know.
Right.
And trust me, they will be getting this sticker because it's needed for a lot of people. It really is, and then it also saves their pocket. But the empowerment card. So let's talk a little bit more about the empowerment card.
Well, I'll let Gail lead on that.
Okay.
Well, here we go again. I met John Lewis. I think it was in 2009. And he was the keynote speaker for the Washington Democratic Party annual fundraiser dinner. And I was watching him in the VIP room, and I'm looking at all these people coming up to him, talking to him, and I realized he's got his head down, and I was like, oh, he must be tired. People asking him the same questions that they already know the answers to. And, you know, because he doesn't always look happy. So he's got his head down and just shaking like, yes. So when nobody was around, I went over and I said, so, Tim, what you eating in the White House? And he soul food. And he started to smile, and we talked about his mother and the best sweet potatoes that she made. Policies are online, positions we know about, but just having a conversation with the person, looking at who they are and not the title and the position of what they've done. He's a human being.
Right.
And so that was the connection, and he lit up and started smiling, but we were talking about his mother as a fool.
Okay.
Many times we know people's political positions because it's written. They say it over and over and over again. Would that be correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
But what about them and their heart? And are you sincere, or are you just using the words?
Right. Right.
So it came to me last, was it a year, 2 years, a year and a half ago. I was like, I'm so sick of people talking about register to vote and go vote.
Mm-hmm.
That's the message. Register to vote and go vote. When have we ever taught anybody how to vote?
Right.
Why do we assume
People know.
that people know how to vote?
Right.
And I hear it from Washington, every single commercial. Register to vote and go vote. Do you know how hard it is if you don't know how to vote?
Right. That's right.
You don't know who to vote for.
That's right.
You weren't invited to the table.
Right.
You didn't see these people.
Right.
You see the signs. I'm guilty.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know. It wasn't talked about in my household. If it was talked about in high school, I don't remember.
Right.
Probably because I was talking and I but I don't remember. So I was one of those people
Mm-hmm.
that didn't know. I didn't go looking for politics. Politics came looking for me.
Right.
Being in places and spaces that people pulled me in.
Right.
But you feel really bad when people say, well, don't you know about so-and-so? Well, you should know because no, I shouldn't. So I started fighting back to say, if I didn't know things, how many other people didn't know?
Exactly.
So I said, let me get something from John Lewis. So we wrote him. I said, remember me. Talked about the sweet potatoes. Give me something that I can show people if I'm going to be fighting a community to change, to say, I understand.
Mhm.
So he sent me a letter. He told me to get into some necessary trouble.
Yeah. That's right.
And
So-
that's what I'm doing.
And that's right. So the necessary trouble, they pulled me in. Because you know what I mean? Right. They pulled me in, right? And they invited me
You know
to
straight
the.
you're in trouble.
That's
I
right.
Right. Take the trouble.
Right. So I fit right in,
Right.
you know, and it wasn't immediate.
Okay.
And I've shared them with them, you know what I mean? But these three young ladies, grassroots, and as sincere, as serious as I am. Trust me when I say that. However, with the empowerment cards,
Mhm.
you'd be surprised how many people live in Ypsilanti, but don't know where they live.
Mhm.
Right, that's so true. Mhm.
Live in
In the
Ypsilanti, don't know where they live.
Mhm.
Right.
Ypsilanti consists of the city of Ypsilanti,
Mhm.
Ypsilanti Township,
Okay,
Pittsfield Township,
okay,
and Superior Township.
okay.
But you have so many people don't know where they live. They think they live in Ypsilanti.
So they think just saying I'm living in Ypsilanti, it's
Yeah.
all in one, and
Yeah,
it's not.
It's not. So you go down. So you got a problem with Ypsilanti. Where do you go? City Hall.
City Hall.
But your fight is not in City Hall. Your fight is at Ypsilanti Township
Ship.
Hall or
Mhm.
Pittsfield
Right.
Hall.
Gotcha.
Right.
Right. That's who
Okay.
represents you.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
Okay.
The mayor doesn't represent you. Ward 1, 2, 3 representative don't represent you. It is your township trustee who represents your issue, and that's why a lot of people get ran around because they don't know where to go.
Okay.
So we came together and we created these empowerment cards. So you know who your representative based upon your address, and then you can find out exactly who to go to see. Sometimes if you call the city of Ypsilanti business line for business, whether it be for trash removal, snow removal, building, they'll tell you if you're calling here for Ypsilanti Township, call this number. If you're calling for here, get what I'm saying. So this person may not even know that they don't live in Ypsilanti Township. They may live in Superior Township. So now you got to call Ypsilanti Township to get referred to, and it's a big runaround.
Okay.
So what we did was we created empowerment cards.
Okay.
So you know where to go to get the resources and help that you need. You know, we've had people around here who do not live in Ypsilanti, who were seriously talking about, I'm gonna run for office, I'm gonna run for mayor.
Mhm. But they're not in the city. They're in the township.
In the township.
And that can also be frustrating for voters. Because I've noticed,
Exactly, right.
very frustrated for voters because you're thinking I'm in the city of Ypsi, but I'm in West Willow.
Right.
Right.
And
So-
I'm gonna vote for the mayor.
And I'm gonna vote for the mayor. No, that's not your district.
That's not your district,
Right.
You know, so that definitely needs to be brought more, and so the empowerment cards are excellent, and that would bring a lot more awareness too, because I just learned something myself today. You know, that, Superior,
Mhm.
City of Ypsi, Township, and Pittsfield, all two different, Superior, I
They
guess
all,
that's
they
Superior.
all say Ypsilanti.
They all say
Correct.
Ypsilanti,
Probably
right.
your
So that's
older
why a lot of
addresses
people
are
think,
together.
yeah, that's why a lot of people feel like, well, I just live in Ypsi, so I can go wherever and
Mhm.
register or go vote anywhere.
Right.
But you might be wanting to vote for somebody, in the city of Ypsi, but you living in West Willow, so that does not
Mhm.
qualify you.
Correct.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard so many times people
Wow.
say, man, I went to go vote for so-and-so, and their name wasn't even on the ballot.
Right.
You feel what I mean?
Mhm.
Where you live at, man? I live in West Willow. Well, they in Ypsilanti, well, I live, no.
Right.
And what Gail said,
Mhm.
she said, I know that was a long conversation, but you had to listen to what she said.
Yeah.
We assume people know how to vote.
Uh-huh.
And we get a lot of backlash because when you look at our voting record, our historical voter record, we as a people, our numbers are down when contrasted with another demographic. And when you have a lot of people influx and moving into our community, and they move into Ypsilanti, right?
Mhm.
Other people have moved out, so our voting numbers are down because what? they don't not only know how to vote, they don't know where to vote, where to vote.
Or
right?
who to vote
Or
for.
who to vote for.
And
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
goes into the suppression.
Right.
Because it wasn't, I believe, it wasn't intended for you to know. It's
Okay.
not
That's
easily
different.
obtainable.
Very
So to tell the truth
I
of the
agree.
matter,
Mm-hmm.
we're telling the truth.
Right, oh yeah, definitely.
That, how would you know who your elected officials are
Mm-hmm.
in each area?
Right.
We went on Secretary of State website. So you go in, am I registered to vote, who are my elected officials, and it takes you to one website, and then you have to go to another, and then you're gonna be frustrated because you don't know what District 12 means and who's 12,
Right.
how to get to the person. So if anybody, it should, well, excuse me, let me go back. It should not be that difficult. If these are our elected officials, and they're supposed to work for all people,
Mm.
voted by the people, and to work for the people,
Mhm.
then why don't we know?
Right. Exactly.
Who didn't get the memo? So when people say, my vote doesn't matter, it doesn't count, it can mean one or two things. It can mean, maybe I don't know, because nobody's gently taken the time to teach me.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you don't know because you were purposely suppressed, that they did not come around to teach you. I tell everyone all the time, it's no joke, we use people in the community when it's time for an election.
Mhm.
I don't see any other time. You walk, you're knocking on my door and you're calling me to tell me something that, what information did you give me? You give me a flyer and you expect me to know what that means?
That's
So
true.
what are we doing different?
Right, right.
Doing the same thing year after year after year. When we gonna do something different?
And
That's why we got you.
And that's what
That's why we
That's why.
So this is one of
that's
the cards,
the
this is just a
empowerment.
mock-up, but they're, they list.
For Superior Township.
Okay,
So it tells you. Go ahead.
all right.
And so what's really important is that it's not just who you vote for, but the fact is that you can connect with the people who actually work for you to do stuff for you.
Okay.
And we would like to see people calling your elected officials and start engaging with them and say, hey, you know, I've been trying for 2 years to get my landlord to fix my heater.
Mhm.
What do I do? Right? I mean,
Right, right.
all these different things, they work for us and all they care about is our vote? No.
And that's what a lot of people feel too. And I think that's why a lot of people out here are very frustrated.
Right.
Because there is no connection. Now, you say they work for us. And I agree everything with what Gail said about we only see them once not even once a year, what is every 4 or every 2 years? Election time, and they come around and, hey, vote for me.
Right.
And that's it.
I'm gonna respond to what Gail said, you work
Okay.
for us. But before we do, when we say that this information is purposely suppressed and don't wanting you to know, that is so true.
Gotcha.
I know a brother,
Mm-hmm.
who's catching hell right now, or trying to be given hell,
Mhm.
simply because he's bringing awareness to the voting process and to other candidates, and being saying that he's doing something wrong simply because he's shedding light on all candidates and not just an individual candidate, and saying that he should not give this person the same equal time as we giving as giving other candidates. Right, and that's so true, because I'm sitting back watching these races right now, and people are really catching flack simply because they're giving light not just to an individual candidate, but to all candidates, and because they're supporting a particular candidate, all of a sudden opposing candidates are mad because you're supporting them, because you are not supposed to know. And we're actually witnessing this firsthand, right? But Gail said something straight up and down. I hosted a couple years ago right here. I had a few of our elected officials here, right? The mayor was here, a few of our council persons, and I think I may have had a county commissioner here. Matter of fact, I did.
Mm-hmm.
And when I introduced, there was 3 black girls, young black girls at 15 years old, and I said just what they said. These people work for you. And at that point, these 3 black girls perked up, because you know how children now, they ain't interested in no politics, they understand.
Mm-hmm.
But when I told them that they work for you, and they said, one girl said, excuse me? She said, did you say that they work for you? And the mayor replied, said, yes, I do. She got up in her chair, she began to start asking how come the road wasn't fixed here? How come that wasn't fixed? What you gonna do about this pothole and this, that, and the third? And all of a sudden, when they began to understand that our elected officials work for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't work for them. That changed the dynamics of the conversation.
Right.
So it's very real.
Right.
And a lot of people, and yeah, I make necessary evil. A lot of our elected officials carry that they carry a mentality that you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
You work for me. I don't work for you.
Right.
And how dare you even ask me a question?
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true.
So and that's why I joined this group,
Okay.
not to be a antagonist towards an individual candidate or a party, but simply to bring aware to the process, so that people can be, so that we can know, and so that we can properly and intelligibly engage the process to know who to vote for and for what reason. You know, sometimes we'll vote for a candidate, want to understand it because they're popular, and end up shooting ourselves in the foot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's not always popular, it could be because it's the biggest sign.
Biggest sign.
And
Yeah.
you're only voting
Mhm.
because you keep seeing name recognition by
Correct.
the biggest sign.
Mhm.
Because you weren't invited to the table where they were speaking, that's another thing.
That's right.
When there are town hall meetings and people show up, who gets the message to come and really see them? Do you feel like do you feel like you're worthy?
Mm-hmm.
Have we gone to people to say, come and hear me? It's for candidates, I believe, you have to go reach people where they are.
Right. Exactly.
And that's the problem of today. You have to come into a community where, what are the needs of the community? What do they feel? When did you knock on the door during an off season to say, how am I doing? Am I meeting your needs?
Right.
When has that happened? I mean, and
Wow.
for a person,
Never.
when we look at what's on the ballot and initiatives, education. Now, what's changed? What's changed in this Ypsilanti community schools? What's changed? Why is education still on the ballot and you have less and less and less? So why do the people want to hear about education?
Right.
When you talk about health care, do we have less and less and less? So why is it the same platform year after year after year? That's a problem. Because that means, what does it mean to me?
Right. And it goes back to us getting out voting too. I think we, the voters, if they work for us, we the one have the power.
Mm-hmm.
We the one elect the officials in the office.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of it has to do, we need to start educating people more
Mhm.
about voting.
Right.
You know, what y'all doing now
Mhm.
is very good. Just like I'm looking at this card here, and township trustees, people, like, what is a town? Some people really don't know what a township
Right,
trustee
right, exactly.
is. Washtenaw County State Legislator, Congress, a lot of people are like, well, Congress, what does Debbie Dingle do? State Legislator, Jeff Irvin, Ronnie Peters. You know, a lot of people have said, you know, not to you, Ronnie, you're my friend,
Right.
but you know, a lot of people walk around and say, oh, I ain't never seen Ronnie, I've never seen Jeff Irvin. You know, a lot of people do say that, they'll come shake your hand every now and then, but what are they doing?
And they affect your lives every single
All these
day.
people
All
on this
these
card.
people make decisions about you,
Wow.
and it's time we take control.
And
Yes,
Now,
I agree.
I will say, Nate, that at this Park Ridge Community Center, Monday meetings, Jeff Irwin or a staffer has been here 95% of the time. So I'm not gonna sit here and let you.
No, I didn't say
No,
anything.
no,
I didn't.
no, look, this is about this community,
Right.
and what I'm saying, who's been here to know what's going on here.
Right.
I don't care if I know you or not, right is right and wrong is wrong.
Okay.
So if you want to know what's going on in the community, then you need to be present in the community. That's what I'm saying. So
In other
if
words,
you-
come to the meetings.
Where are you for the people that, you know, represent this community? So
Okay.
I'm always going to give kudos to the people who are present.
Gotcha.
And I think Margaret had a question, and then I'm going to say that 90% of the time that once Jeff Irwin got elected, he ain't been back since. But I'm gonna turn that over to them.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I've seen Jeff Irwin, but, I talk to him every Friday, but that's another thing.
Right.
But what I just wanted to say, as far as the empowerment cards, what they are is they're a first step in your own self-education about what these officials can do for you. So you have a problem with your taxes or whatever, you call the treasurer and you get it all sorted out. You talk to her, not her staff or whatever, you get it all sorted out. And then the next time there's an election and there's candidates for treasurer, you kind of know what the treasurer is supposed to do. And did this treasurer do a good job for me or didn't they? And so it's all part of Gail's process of educating the voter, to know that they work for you, to know whether they're doing a good job, and then when they come around, what have they done for you? And that's actually one of our projects as well, coming up, right?
Right.
Okay, so
Really
what does, real quick, I wanna go through this before we close, real quick. What does, for the people that don't know, what does the Washtenaw County District 2 Commissioner do?
Well, I'm gonna say this, yeah.
For people just don't know,
Yeah.
township
Right.
trustee, you just explained about the trustee,
Okay.
right? So, I just, people don't know.
So, I may be wrong on my numbers,
Okay.
but the Washtenaw County Commissioner, Washtenaw County is broken up to maybe 6 or 8 districts.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Right? So each county, based upon a line, each segment of the county that represents that area, like West Willow, okay? Then you have Ann Arbor, right? You have the Dexter area, Ann Arbor. Those particular areas, and they're overlapping, what have you, that county commissioner represents that district on a county level.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That people, where they receive money from via the state of Michigan and Washington, and they receive money, and then they're the ones who distribute the money down to help the people in their particular district. So
Okay.
you can look at them as almost like a city council or a township trustee on the county level.
Okay.
And it's huge amounts of money,
It's
right?
huge amounts of money.
Huge amounts of money. Mental
Huge.
health is part of there, the roads, I mean,
Road,
they
wow,
haven't
yeah.
made, I didn't know about them either. I mean, Gail was the one that actually introduced me, and I'm
Okay.
thinking,
Yeah.
I have no idea what kind of commissioner it is, but they're.
So if we don't vote, or if we're not represented, and we're gonna get there too, on the census, District 6, I'm just throwing that out there, may have $3 billion to do their roles. District 1 may have $20 billion to do theirs, based upon voter registration, voter turnout, and the census. So if you don't engage in the process, right, then though your head count isn't count. So there's a certain amount of money that's available here. Well, all these people in District 1, they got in vote. They get a big pie, right? Get a piece of pie. We didn't vote. Well, obviously you don't want it in this. Why? Because you did not come out and vote, and you did not come out and participate in the census. So you only get this amount of the pie.
Okay. And we're gonna talk about that at a
Yeah,
later
yeah,
date,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
About the
yeah.
census.
But before we end, you know I have to go back.
Mhm. And then I'm gonna go back.
Yeah, okay.
Well, since you wanna bring
Okay,
up,
no,
right?
right.
Okay.
And I'm going back
Mhm.
to, so that I can,
Mhm.
clarify Jeff Irwin
Okay.
at these Monday meetings.
Mhm.
Now, his staffer
Mhm.
is here.
Who's the staffer?
His
Annie.
Annie.
Annie Somerville, who is a third ward city council person.
Annie is here
Mhm.
when she represents
Mhm.
the Monday meeting.
Right.
As you hear her introduce,
Mhm.
she is representing
Mhm.
Jeff Irwin.
Right.
So I'm not going to let you say, because that's her daytime job. She has two jobs, but when she's here,
Mhm.
she's representing Jeff Irwin.
Okay, and I'm gonna go here and say, and that's why we said we were nonpartisan, right?
Mhm.
I did say that, right?
Right.
And then she, right, but, so I've gotta throw mine out there. First ward representative, who is Mayor Pro Tem Lois Richardson, she is here herself
Mhm.
every single month.
But what does that have to do with Jeff Irwin? That has nothing to do, but no, I'm saying this is the truth, so know your facts when you're talking about a staffer. When a staffer comes in, representing, like when Debbie Dingle's staff comes into the meeting, they're representing. And when we go around the room with introduction, that's when you say. Now, I might be doing jobs for different people, and when I sit at the table, so I'm just not letting that pass when I know it to be true for correction.
Yeah, but I told-
However, I think the point is
Right.
that some of these people have representation here, most of them do not,
Okay, okay.
right? And,
Yeah,
and
right,
that's really
right.
what the point
Yeah,
is.
that's what
that
the point is.
some-
Yeah,
And
right.
and what we
Yeah,
would like to
definitely,
see is more engagement.
Yeah.
And that
So-
means we need to invite
Yeah.
them into the community, but we need to know who they are
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Far as Congress, people that don't know what our Debbie Dingle do, a lot of people really don't know what Debbie Dingle do. So far as Congress, now is she represent the state of Michigan or?
She
No.
represents this congressional district.
Okay, see, I
Right,
thought she was.
congressional district.
Okay.
Which is, Ypsilanti, I wanna
Pretty
say,
extensive.
it's pretty
It's all the way
extensive,
down to,
man.
like, Lake Erie.
Lake
something.
Erie, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, gerrymandering is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was.
No, no, I got
Yeah.
you what you're
Yeah.
saying.
And it's gerrymandered
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
Yeah.
be prepared.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah, but where can people get this from?
From Facebook, Ypsi Can I Share, Ypsi Can I Share, and
It's on, there's a YouTube video, we have an Ypsi Can I Share channel, and, on the video or below the video, there's links to print out the cards, and then we're also working on a handout, that will, cover the subject and, provide the card.
Now, are these going to be handed out like during, around election time?
these empowerment cards, we will start putting them in different places.
Okay, different places.
So, no, we
Okay,
go
so
into the
people can go into
neighborhoods.
thing, okay,
This
great,
is just
great.
something that's ongoing, it doesn't have anything to do with election.
It has
And
nothing to
once-
do with.
No, I was just
Yeah,
wondering, because
the
people.
the names will change after the election.
Election, gotcha.
Right,
Okay,
so
I understand
we
what
have
you're
to
saying.
update it, so.
Okay, I understand what
that's
you're
just-
saying, but still get one of these.
Okay.
Very important that we get, I enjoyed this interview. I love it, you know, and Yale is, you know,
Yeah, let's get it.
I like
let's
it.
get it.
Right, okay.
I like Yale.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, but, thank you, brother Bryant,
Yeah.
the mayor of Ypsi,
No.
Gail
True.
You don't
Summer,
live in the
Peter,
city, do you?
Gail
You
Summer,
can't
Hill,
live
and
there.
Right.
You don't live in the city.
Jan Peary.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
And
Tom.
Mark, what's your last name?
Shankler.
Margaret Shankler,
Mhm.
these lovely ladies,
Thank you.
the mayor here, Nate Frazier here, Heart to Heart. My co-host couldn't be here today, Keon, if you're right, but we thank you
Thank you.
for all tuning in. If you want to continue to watch this video, all you have to do is go to Nate Frazier. It's on my page, or you can go to Heart to Heart. It's on that page, and you can hear this video over and over again and get this information. So in the future, real soon, we're gonna come back, Mayor, and talk about the census.
Yes.
We're gonna come back and talk about the census. So I have to get up from here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have them sit while I go and cut this camera.
Yeah,
But
cut
thank
off,
you,
we gonna
viewers.
Cause we gonna get into this Jeff Irwin thing right here. Since you gonna bring something in,
If I were you, I wouldn't want to. If I were you, I would watch it, because you don't want to get in the ring with me now.
I thought we were nonpartisan.